I'm going to spoil it for you guys. The Mets are going to hit a ton of more home runs this offseason, especially after signing Juan Soto. People are like, oh my God, how are they going to afford any more players? How are we going to afford anything else after this massive contract? I'm going to explain to you guys why this money will not run out. Plus, we got multiple reports about bringing in a couple of players, including homegrown star Pete Alonso, as we will give an update on his free agency, plus a little detail about the Juan Soto signing that I would like to share with you guys and talk about. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to this edition of Mets Digest with your host, Michael DeAngelo. As you see on the screen, guys, you guys did it, and I'm so happy the moment has come. We have reached a little over 3,000 subscribers, and I just want to say thank you guys so much. Of course, the Juan Soto signing definitely, sealed the deal when it comes to, getting over 3,000 subscribers by the end of the year, which was my goal, and now we are here. But if you are here and you're not subscribed, which 76% of you guys watching these videos aren't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Look, I know there's going to be Yankee haters coming on here. I know there's going to be maybe some Blue Jay haters in there coming in here. But if you're not, you're a new Mets fan or you're a baseball fan looking to keep up with with the hottest team in town or hottest team in media basically right now, subscribe right here to Mets Digest. This is your one-stop shop for everything Mets baseball. Roster news, trade updates, injuries, trade rumors, free agency rumors, all of that right here on Mets Digest. Me and Flobo Boys have been killing it so far this offseason. And yeah, let's get started. Now, it is pretty much a done deal now that we all want Pete Alonso back on this team, especially after signing Juan Soto. Having the 1, 2, 3, 4 of this lineup being the likes of Francisco Lindor, Mark Vientos, Juan Soto, and Pete Alonso would just be an absolute dream for all of us. And for the most part, we know now that Pete Alonso 110% wants to be with the New York Mets. We hear it in his interviews from time and time again during the second half of the season when reporters would ask him constant questions about it. You could just tell through his eyes and through his words that he just really wanted all the talks to be over with and he just wants to sign his contract already. And of course he wants it to be the right amount of years, the right amount of money, and of course he's going to make sure he gets his job security along with being here in Queens. Now, what we've heard so far now after the Juan Soto signing is basically that this came right after the Juan Soto signing. This was David Stearns at winter meetings just this morning, and he was asked about if there was room in the Mets budget for Pete Alonso, and as you see that quote right there, he basically said, "I think ownership has consistently demonstrated that there's going to be resources when we need them." So there's always going to be money there. It's just the fact of the matter if he really wants to be here and if the offer that the Mets give him is really what he wants. Is anyone else going to be able to top that offer? We have no idea. The Yankees also need a first baseman. They were willing to pay Juan Soto $760 million. So if they're willing to, we'll see how much money they're willing to fork over for Pete Alonso. Guys, they can easily come out and steal our first baseman easily. Like, it's a definite possibility. We don't know if they're interested or not, but all I know is Rizzo is a free agent and he's going to be off the Yankees. And that means that their first base spot is wide open for a guy like Pete Alonso. The scary and also the best part about all of this is we don't really know how much more money Steve Cohen has. Like, look, his payroll last year for this team was around $340 to $350 million. And, with Juan Soto now getting paid $51 million a year just by himself, who knows what the payroll can grow to this year. It could be in the $360 to $370 million a year. And, he is not going to blink an eye. He's not even going to bat an eye when it comes to trying to bring back a guy like Pete Alonso, knowing how much the fans love him, knowing how much he loves him, and how much he's good for the team spirit. I mean, I'm sure Pete Alonso is a big, big priority for them right now besides the pitching staff. And if you guys really think money is an issue right now, you guys are sadly mistaken. You got to realize this man is the richest owner in all of sports. Like, realize that. All of sports. Like, think about, like, soccer clubs, too, how popular soccer is over there with Real Madrid and, you know, PSG and all those clubs, with how much those owners spend on their players. Like, Steve Cohen has boatloads of more money than all of them. This guy's net worth is $21 billion. The year before it was at 14. So the fact of the matter that he's acquired that many billions of dollars in just 1 year, I mean, look, I know we're not supposed to talk, like, we don't talk, we're talking sports here, but let's just talk business for a second. Like, this man is investing in tons of crypto and tons of public stocks that are involved in AI development and everything. And all of that stuff has been going on the rise recently. So, and that there's not one man that is more involved in that kind of stuff than Steve Cohen. So if you think that money is an issue right now for him, you're sadly mistaken. The sky is the limit, and that is the best possible statement, because you know that man's money is just going to keep going to the sky. So let's get back on topic here. Money is not the issue. It's just the matter if Pete Alonso is just willing to take whatever the Mets are willing to give him. That is really all it is, and hopefully they can reach an agreement. Now, when it comes to pivoting to other types of acquiring players, we can look at trades now. We know we need starting pitching help, and Garrett Crochet is a name that has come up constantly in trade talk. Especially, you guys remember, during the trade deadline, we were making a lot of noise about trading for Garrett Crochet. He was an all-star last year, lone all-star on the Chicago White Sox, and he is going to cost a hefty price, mainly because he has 2 years left of team control. So you basically don't have to pay him a ton of money, and he's going to be that top-end arm that the Mets are looking for in their rotation. Now, there was this report that came out just today about Garrett Crochet. This was about a few hours ago, from John Heyman, saying, while numerous teams are in the mix, both New York clubs are said to be among the most aggressive suitors in a trade for Garrett Crochet. The Phillies, Red Sox, and Orioles are also among the interested teams in acquiring him. While no deal is considered at this time, this is Ken Rosenthal, not John Heyman, sorry about that, that the Mets would appear to have the edge in the sweepstakes due to the surplus of young talent that they could offer. White Sox looking for big league ready hitters in exchange, with Chicago's farm system lacking up the middle talent. Youngsters like Luis Angel Acuna, Jet Williams, Drew Gilbert, Brett Beatty, Ronnie Mauricio could potentially be of interest. Garrett Crochet certainly would cost the Mets a pretty penny in any deal, like we've discussed before. But adding young and controllable talent, team control for the next 2 seasons would certainly be an excellent way for Mr. Stearns to round out his rotation. So after I was reading that, I saw something like this from Sox on 35th, and this was a mock trade that he proposed for the Chicago White Sox, and that is acquiring Jet Williams, Ryan Clifford, Drew Gilbert, and Colin Houck. And if I were the Mets, I would accept this immediately, mainly because you don't have to give up Brett Beatty or Ronnie Mauricio. I would take that. I would take that and walk away laughing my ass off, because look, Brett Beatty will probably end up being given up in this deal. But if a trade like this were to happen right now, that's an absolute fleece job. I know Jet Williams is our number 1 prospect, and we would all love to see him come up and see what he can do in the majors with the Mets. But if you're able to keep Brett Beatty and, like I said before, Ronnie Mauricio, get Ronnie Mauricio out of your guys' trade proposals. I'm telling you guys right now, he is a future Hall of Famer. And I will say that's pretty much my first time saying it on this channel. But you guys know how much I love Ronnie. And that is my basic prediction for him. That man is a generational talent. He is massively underrated as a prospect right now, and I think it would be a big mistake letting him go to any MLB franchise. It would even if it's the massively irrelevant Chicago White Sox, I still think it is a big mistake letting go of a guy like that, especially when you're looking to trade guys like Jeff McNeil and Starling Marte right now. You really don't know who's your DH just yet. Of course, you don't really know where Luis Angel Acuna is going to play yet. We have Jose Siri in center field right now, but Acuna and Jet Williams and Drew Gilbert are all going to be looking to take over that spot. So things are all out of sorts right now. But I think when it comes to, your homegrown prospects and wanting to see some of them succeed, Jet Williams and Ronnie Mauricio are right up there and guys that you really want to keep around. And, I already said it specifically, Mauricio, due to the fact that he's a big-time switch hitter and it's just extreme talent from both sides of the plate. You got to keep him around. But getting back on topic, if a trade like this were to go down, that is an absolute steal. But I think it's going to cost a little more than that. I don't really want to pay for a guy that much like Garrett Crochet, but at some point the Mets are going to be looking to save money in some sort of fashion. I know we said before in the last 2 minutes that money's not an issue, but in all realness, at some point they're going to look to save money at some point because you still got to cash out on bullpen arms and maybe possibly another pitching arm, and of course you're still looking for, some outfield depth and, other depth in your lineup in general. So, moving on from that, Flobo covered in his last video about all the contract details when it comes to Juan Soto. And, he has an opt-out after the 5th year, and the Mets can void that. And if they void it, then, his annual salary raises to $55 million a year. Now, some fans are really perplexed about the fact that he really walked away for $5 million more than just the Yankees. But they're forgetting to factor in some of those little things. Now, those little things may include, of course, the Mets' future. They have better prospects right now. They have a better farm system. They have better and younger players for under long-term contracts for, long time. Like, think about the guys that the Yankees have under long-term contracts, like Garrett Cole, Giancarlo Stanton, Aaron Judge, who's already 33 years old. Those guys are already very up there in age. Guys like Francisco Lindor and Brandon Nimmo and Edwin Diaz are in the prime of their careers right now, and they're locked up long-term. And Juan Soto knows he's going to be around those types of guys for a very long time. So those are little things that you have to factor in. Now, one thing that I do want to bring up with you guys, and that was a report that I saw this one is from John Heyman, not the last one. This one is from Mr. Heyman. And this was very interesting, to say the least. I mean, this was another issue that I wanted to bring up, was that the Yankees shouldn't be faulted for bidding a whopping $760 million, but they wouldn't budge on the suite. The Yankees felt that they couldn't give a suite to Soto when Judge pays for his suite, and even Derek Jeter paid as well. They were willing to discount a suite, but not willing to alter their precedent. Cohen didn't give the suite much of a thought when he has his eyes on the prize. He is singularly focused. Now, that right there is wild, to say the least. I mean, the fact that, look, was it a deal breaker? Probably not. Look, the Mets' future, their plans and, for baseball operations and all that probably factored in. But the fact that, something like that went down is wild. I mean, we know right now, if you guys really pay attention to families and stuff like that, we know Francisco Lindor has a family suite. I don't know if he pays for it or not currently, but the fact of the matter is Steve Cohen was willing to give Juan Soto a suite for his family for absolutely nothing. And, that could have broken the deal. I mean, another issue that arose recently that we saw in reports was that earlier in the season, Juan Soto had an issue with Yankee clubhouse personnel about having a certain family member and a personal chef going around to certain areas of the clubhouse, and Yankee security slash clubhouse personnel was not allowing it, thus causing a major issue amongst Juan Soto and Yankee security, that he wasn't too happy about. So little things like that, kind of just add up in the end. It was reported also that during Steve and Alex Cohen's meeting with Juan Soto in California, that Steve Cohen did bring the head of clubhouse operations into the meeting in California, where he was able to explain to Juan Soto our clubhouse operations and how everything works there with family members and all of that, to make sure everything is 100% clear to him. And if he doesn't like it, then he asks his questions from there. So it's just little things like that where that makes or breaks whether a guy wants to leave or not. Like, it's not just a loyalty thing, it's not just a money thing, it's a communications thing. Like, Cohen is operating this franchise as a fan, right? Like, he is wanting to just flat out win the World Series, and he's willing to do anything for his players to do that. And it's kind of just been said amongst league executives and writers that the Yankees are kind of operating, their free agent signings and, their recruitment as kind of like a business. And, some players are going to like that and some aren't. And it just, right now, Juan Soto just wasn't too fond of that. Hence why he ended up choosing the New York Mets. And that is all I have for you guys here today. Let me know in the comments, what do you think they should do about Pete Alonso and Garrett Crochet. I'm interested to hear now that we know that money is not a problem at all. It would really be nice to see Pete Alonso back here. But I will sign off now, and I will see you guys soon in another video. Goodbye, y'all.